Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to today's session. I'm Bhavesh from the SwiftEnterprise product management team. Today, we'll be looking at all the new features and enhancements that have been shipped as part of the 6.8 release. While these difficult times continue to test us, we at Digite are striving hard to make your work life easier and more rewarding. And as much as these adversities are not in our control, we are focused in this release to empower you to do more in less time with the power of AI. So as part of this release, you will now be able to set up the AI-powered similar work items feature such that you can get the complete advantage of your organization's data. You can also fine-tune the AI techniques for recommending field values to be auto-populated so that it serves the purpose of that field. And you can also swiftly log time on your work items via our Swift bot. While these AI capabilities help you to save time, we have introduced new tags features so that remembering your agile cards via choices words is easier. Along with these, we have enhanced the execution board on mobile app, story map, and other areas of the application to help you get a better experience overall. So without further ado, let's get started. First up, we'll look at the AI-powered capabilities. For that, let me switch to the application. All right, so the scenario that we are going to look at is we have a support project where issues are getting created by the support team members, and those projects are for each of the accounts or each of the customers that you have for your product. Whereas you have a different project where the development team is looking at those defects. Now, typically what would happen is you would go ahead and log an issue, and there's good possibility that that similar issue has been reported by another customer, and it is also possible that quite possible that the development team has taken up that defect for fixing or has already fixed it. Now, without having all that information at hand, what would typically happen is I would go ahead and still log the issue. It would have to be analyzed by someone. All the due diligence gets done, and only during the analysis phase, one would get to know that such kind of issue is already been uh, logged by someone and it has already been fixed. Now that kind of effort and the time that gets spent against such issues can be easily saved. What we'll see here is that I'm going to log a new issue and I'll provide the name and the description here. And the moment I tab out of the description field, which is the field which I've designated for the AI engine to analyze so that similar items, if they are present, they should be shown to me. So this is the field I have provided my details. And the moment I tab out of it, I'll be recommended similar work items. You will see this bulb icon on the right hand side of the screen, and it would show that there are certain similar work items found in the project itself. Now I see that the similarity percentage is not quite high because probably similar issues have not been reported inside this support project. But as I said, if you want to make use of the data that is present in other projects, then that's where the other tabs will come in handy now. So I'm now looking at defects that are part of my development project, and I could see that there's a defect which has 87% similarity, and it's quite similar to the issue that I'm reporting here right now. So that helps me know that a similar defect has already been reported, and I can look up its details, what kind of status it has right now, whether it has been fixed or whether it is under analysis. And all that kind of information is available to me just at the issue creation itself. So you're going to save a whole lot of time into analyzing the issue, categorizing it as a duplicate, and again sending back that communication to the person who created that issue as well. Also, we understand that the recommendation from the AI engine may not be accurate always. So we have incorporated a feedback mechanism so that If in case you feel that the recommended similar work item is not appropriate, you can give it a thumbs down. So in this case, I feel that this is not relevant because this is something related to timesheet. I'm reporting something related to inbox here. So I can press the thumbs down icon. I can also specify the reason why I feel it is not relevant. So it is irrelevant, it could be incorrectly ranked, or it took too long for the recommendation to happen. Or as we saw here, I can give a thumbs up so that I know that this is the kind of work item that needs to be recommended to me when I'm logging an issue of this nature. So not only are we recommending similar work items, but we have ensured that the feedback mechanism is also in place so that we continue to improve the recommendation of similar work items even in the future. So while this is how the magic happens, let's see how it has been set up as well. So under the setup menu, you will see a new page for AI powered similar work items. And this is where I have set that I want to see similar work items when I'm logging an issue. The recommendation should be based on my description field. And as we saw, I'm wanting to look at not just the issues inside my support project, but also the defects that the development team has been looking at in the development project. So I can make a selection of the development project. The work item type also could be different and need not be only issues as well. So that's how you can go about setting up the AI powered similar work items feature. Okay, so we looked at how similar work items feature can be set up, and now we'll move on to see how the auto population feature has also been enhanced as part of this release. So we have seen that the moment you provide the name and description for the work item and you tab out of that field, fields will be auto populated based on the settings that you have done. So here I have the priority, the location, category, and customer name being auto-populated. So we have enhanced this further so that you can go ahead and fine-tune the manner in which these fields have to be auto-populated. So for the ticket work item here, what I've done is I have to make a selection of a field based on which auto-population of the fields will happen. And inside the field level settings, here is where I can select the fields that I would like to be auto-populated. So I can select any of the fields that I would like to auto-populate. Along with that, we have given a way to select the behaviors on the basis of which the field should be auto-populated. So for priority field, I could say that I need a similarity behavior so that based on the description I have provided for a ticket, what are the similar work items and what is the priority of those similar work items. That kind of behavior will be used to auto-populate my priority field. On similar lines, if, for the location field, I've selected the behavior as constant. The reason I've selected constant is because as an end user, the location of the user more so often is going to be the same. So I would like to use the constant behavior to go ahead and auto-populate the location field. So on similar lines, I can select other behaviors as well. So for example, the due date. Now, due date is a great example where you can make use of the prediction behavior. So depending upon the due date that have been set for similar work items, will employ the prediction behavior so that it will see that based on the similar work items, what kind of duration it took from the date identified to the due date, and it will recommend the due date accordingly. So it will look at the prediction behavior to help it auto-populate. Similarly, if you're wanting to auto-populate certain number fields, you can make use of averaging behavior. So, and finally, if you don't wish to get involved into selection of any of these AI techniques, which is going to recommend field values, you can leave it to the AI engine itself. So you can make the selection of exploratory behavior here, which is the default behavior. So whenever you go ahead and select a new field to be auto-populated, and in that scenario, you can let the AI engine decide which of these behaviors is most suited to the field that you have selected to be auto-populated. So it will go and try out multiple combinations of these behaviors, and depending upon the results it finds, it will set as one of those as the recommendation behavior for the fields to be auto-populated. So that's how we have enhanced the AI auto-population feature. And in case if you are doubtful about which behavior is the most suited one and you would like to make a selection, you can also click on this eye icon here and it will display all the behaviors that are available along with an example. It will help you understand which behavior is most suited for which kind of fields. And with that, that's how we have enhanced our AI powered field auto population feature. All right, so we looked at how you can save time while logging issues, whether it's a simple auto population of the fields or looking for similar work items at the time of your issue creation itself. So one of the other AI powered capabilities that we have is the SwiftBot. Now, SwiftBot helps you do a whole lot of things. It allows you to look up help. It allows you to view details of a specific work item, navigate to one of the screens without having to click through the menus or the workspace navigation, check on the status of a sprint, or even perform some of the basic actions like route reject on your work items. While these all actions are possible on the SwiftBot, one of the actions that we thought it would be great to incorporate as part of our capabilities for SwiftBot is the ability to log time. So this is something which gets done by the users often, and they can definitely make use of the conversational capabilities that the SwiftBot has so that you can lock time on it easily. So herein I can simply say lock time because not always I'm going to remember the work item ID against which I would like to lock time. So the moment I type in that, what I get to see is a list of work items that I have worked upon or I have logged time recently. So those are the in progress work items, and also I can make a selection of any of the work items on which I haven't logged time so far. So as you can see, you are going to be presented with the details of the work item, and in case you are working on agile work item like a user story or a technical story, you will be presented with the name of the user story, the ID of the user story, and then with the ID and name of the to-do against which you would like to log time. So that gives you context so that you don't get confused between all the similarly named to-dos that you have created against these user stories. So I can make a selection of a to-do here. I'll say I would like to log time on the test case drafting to-do for my UST 1333, and I'll say I would like to log 2.5 hours against it. And it gives me a confirmation right away that the hours have been logged against that to-do. What I can also do is I could say that log 0.5 hours on, since I have the ID in front of me, I could say that I would like to log time on this ticket for last Friday. Now, what it has done is figured out that I would like to log time on for 8th of May. So this is a conversational bot. You can make use of such phrases so that you can lock time on your work items much more easily. And if in case you would like to lock time on any of the work items by selecting them, you could make use of the previous approach as well. So both of those approaches are available so that you can lock time on it quite easily. Okay, so to quickly recap at what we looked at earlier, we first looked at how you can go ahead, set up the similar work items feature with the help of our new settings page. In fact, we have given this settings page at organization and process template levels as well, so that it is automatically present for the ongoing projects or the new projects automatically. We then looked at how you can go ahead and set up cross work item type and cross project similarity for the items for which you would like to see similar work items. And we then looked at how the similar work items are shown finally as the output, be it in the same project or other projects. And you also have the capability to provide a feedback on how good the similarity has worked for you. We then looked at how you can quickly create work items with the help of AI auto population feature. So here as well, you have the ability to set it up at the project level so that you can decide which fields you would like to auto populate. You can decide the behaviors that will be driving the auto population of these fields. So there are different kinds of behaviors available for the textual and the number fields, which you can choose from, or you can rely on the exploratory behavior so that the AI does all the trial and error to figure out which of those behaviors would be the most optimal choice for the auto population of that field. And finally, we saw how the auto population also works, so that that field on the basis of which the recommendation for auto population is going to happen, that is highlighted along with the fields which have been auto populated. Those are highlighted with the light yellow color. This as well is one of our beta features right now, and we will be graduating it to a regular feature soon. And finally, we looked at the SwiftBot's ability to lock time. So you can simply lock time, and you can do it in a very conversational way, wherein you can say lock 5 hours for yesterday, and you have the ability to go ahead and make a selection of a work item or a to-do with the context of the user story to which that to-do belongs. And finally, in different ways you can lock time. So you can say such as yesterday for last Friday and things like that, so that it's very easy for you to quickly lock time against any of your work items for any given day. So these are the AI powered features that we looked at, which are currently in beta, but as I said, we will be graduating these features into regular features soon. If you would like them to be enabled, please talk to your support teams and we'll help you out on how these can be enabled. So we'll now look at the Agile features. Primarily, first we'll look at how tags feature is going to help you keep track of the cards with the help of the words that you typically use to remember them. So let me switch back to the application. Okay, so what I've done here is I've navigated to the execution board of my Agile project, and I'm looking at all the cards. So typically one would have different fields configured as part of your card so that you're able to identify whether it's what kind of work it is, whether it's an enhancement or a new feature, what module belongs to, different kinds of categorizations so that you're able to filter those cards. It allows you to slice and dice the card data as well. So we understand the ability so we understand the advantage that we get by having such fields, but we also understand that you have to end up maintaining certain list of values. You have to end up configuring all those different kinds of attributes. So one of the features that we thought would really come in handy is the ability to tag your card. So what do I mean by that? So let's just say I open up this card for updating the FAQs that I have for my product, and typically, as I said, you would have a bunch of fields, but instead of trying to remember the values that need to be updated against those fields, I could go ahead and type out those field values here itself. So I could say that this belongs to my FAQs module. This is a new feature, and this is high priority probably. And as you can see, you can go ahead and type out as many such tags that you would like for your card. Now, this is something that that is not just limited to this work item type. In this case, the user story. So let me just save this and go back to one of my technical stories that I have on this board. So I'll open up a technical story here, and here too, what I can do is I can say this is a new feature. And as you can see, it is prompting me that one of those tags is already present for either a technical story or any of the agile work item types that I have in this project. So I'm not uh, creating new tags unnecessarily because it's prompting me if there is a similarly named tag already present. So I can make a selection of that. I could add to a new set of tags as well, saying Android, iOS, things like that. So I could say Oracle, since I need to make sure this technical story works on the Oracle database, or I could say MySQL. So all these kind of tags I can create here, and these tags are going to be commonly available across all my Agile work item types. So I'm not adding to the options available. At the same time, I'm easily able to reuse these tags in different work items as well. And as I said earlier, one of the main benefits of having all these custom attributes or custom tags is the ability to filter. So we have given that ability here as well. So when I go ahead and click on the filters, I will have those tags available as part of my filtering as well. So I can quickly filter upon the cards using any of these tags. Let's say I have said FAQs and enhancements. So it is showing me these two cards. One of them is the user story and the other one is the FAQs. And in fact, if I hover over the tags icon on the card, it is also going to show me the tags that have been added on this card. So that's how you can make use of the tags feature. As I said, it is going to reduce your dependency on some of the custom attributes that you end up creating for your card types. And as I said, these tags are going to be available across all the agile work item types. So it doesn't matter if you have added a certain tag against a user story, they can be reused on a technical story or a bug or one of the ad hoc work items that you have created. So that was about the tags feature. We will now look at how filtering has been provided on the execution board on mobile app. So for that, let me switch to the mobile app. Okay, so what I've done is I have logged into my SwiftEnterprise mobile app and navigated to the execution board. And as we are looking at it on the web app, I am seeing the same set of filter criteria applied. So I'm looking at the update FAQs user story that is there in my user stories swim lane. And now I have the ability to filter the cards from the mobile app as well. I can make a selection of any of the filters that I had defined on my web app and use that filter to filter cards on the execution board here. Or I can make use of the standard fields, the common fields that are there. So let me just say I want to see all the cards on which Mark is assigned as a card owner. And probably I don't want to have any of these tags getting applied. So I'll remove those tags. Similarly, I can make a selection for any of the fields that are specific to any of the agile work item types. So I can make a selection for a customer or any other value that I have for my cards here and tap on apply. And I'll be shown all the cards based on the filter criteria there. So that's how you can filter cards on the execution board on mobile app as well. It's pretty much how it is on the web app as well. So you have the same flexibility even when you are viewing the execution board on your mobile app. So to quickly summarize on what we saw, we first look at the new tags feature and how you can go ahead and add new tags on to your cards. And the same tags are going to be available across all your agile work item types. And they are also going to be available as whenever you hover over the cards tags icon. And on the mobile app, we saw that you can make use of any of the existing filters that you have defined on the web app. And you can also make use of the filter criteria, which is based on the attributes that you have defined on your card types. So moving on to the usability enhancements. So In this release, what we have done is one of the new capabilities that we have as part of our Agile initiatives is the ability to define story maps. And we saw how a story map can be built into your Agile projects, how it helps you define the various levels and the sequence of activities that need to be defined for a story map, how the card breakdown needs to happen based on that. While all that capability is available for the story map, we also felt that you should be able to define multiple story maps within the same project. So that is one of the enhancements that we have done for the story mapping module. Along with that, one of the new features that we introduced was of external work requests, where you can define a form that can be accessed by some of your non-application users to log items into your project. So while you had the capability to define some of the fields that should be available as part of the form, the rich text fields have now been enhanced so that the end user can include images as part of the description itself. And we have also enhanced the confirmation messages that are shown at the time of deletion of a work item so that there's no ambiguity on the work item that is going to be no longer available. So those were the usability enhancements that we have shipped as part of the release. So with this, we have come to the end of the session. I hope all the features that we demonstrated today are going to be useful to you. We will certainly like to hear your feedback, any of the suggestions that you would have, or even if you have any questions regarding the features that were demonstrated today, please feel free to reach out to our support teams and we'll be surely there to assist you. So that's all we had for the session today. Have a nice day.